Hey everyone, this week's case study is not necessarily a case study, but it's something important. We're actually borrowing this from the FMS, and we use it really for a couple reasons. One is it'll really show the client how asymmetrical they are, but it also will show you what type of function or dysfunction the hip and pelvis have. So if some of you are probably familiar with this and some maybe not, but the way we do it, and it's not necessarily that we take a measurement, you can just to track it. I'm just looking for asymmetries. Now the asymmetries when we do this test is not necessarily a hamstring issue. It could be, but most times it's more of a pelvic issue. In other words, if someone had an elevated pelvis, or someone, let's say if someone was rotated left to right, and then you were lifting this left leg straight up, go and lift that. You probably will have better range of motion on your left side versus if you did your right side, and remember you had a pelvic rotation left to right. So this is something that, again, most people when they do this, they feel like, oh well, it's just a hamstring because I feel tightness there. It is. That's not the issue. It's not the concern. It's definitely the ability or inability for the pelvis to rotate properly. And the other thing is, if you're working with an athlete and they have some type of knee issue or foot issue or hip or low back issue, and you do this test and there's a 4 to 6 to 7 inch discrepancy between the heights or the ranges of motion, that should be a red flag right there, and that also should be almost a sales tool for you to say, well, look at the asymmetry. This is your running pattern or your walking pattern. If you're that dysfunctional, it's going to, number one, possibly lead to an injury, but number two, it's going to inhibit their performance as well. So here's a test, and again, somebody may know this, but your feet together, you want to dorsiflex. We're going to have Chris lift his left leg straight up as high as he could without bending his knee. The right foot you don't want to turn out. So in other words, you don't want to externally rotate at your right hip. Okay, you're going to lower. And what we'll typically do, I'll do this just to show the client the difference. So we'll take, go ahead and do that again, Chris. So we'll take from this angle, I'll put it right straight in your leg. I'll keep this right in the lateral malleolus. I'll hold that point right there. Okay, come on down. Let's say that I had one pole there. We bring the other leg up, and I keep it here, and then you can take the distance, okay, you can lower, and whatever the discrepancy is, that you can mark that in your notes. So I wanted to point this out because it is definitely something that we use quite a bit, and it's more for educational purposes, and it's more just to see what kind of asymmetry there is, because again, if there's an elevation or a rotation or an asymmetrical tilt, there's going to be a disparity with that. So if you are FMS certified and you use these tools, what will be really cool is when we do the corrective exercises for those pelvic deviations, whether it be the rotation, asymmetry, or the elevation, take them through the program and then retest this again and see the difference. There should be more symmetry. And then again, there's your sales tool. More symmetrical, oh, look what we just did. Now they need to make sure that they do their homework every day. So that's pretty much the case study. I thought it would be really cool for you guys to review this, and it just might put another tool in your toolbox, so to speak. And that's it. So we'll see you next week, and if you have any questions, post them on the site. Bye.